Greetings, Aero modelers around the world. Got to get comfortable. I find myself in a strange position because you would normally expect the first review coming from somebody who has been sent the model by the various suppliers, and they always say how good it is, how fantastic it is, because if they don't say that, they're not going to keep on getting more models to play with. Well, I paid for this out of my own money, and as from I received it this morning at 10 o'clock, and we are the, what are we? We're the 28th of November, Thursday the 28th of November, just before Black Friday. So I received this, and as I have seen no reviews posted, I thought, well, why not do it? So I'll try and keep this as honest. I'll keep it honest. I'll try and keep it as informative as possible. Now this, I have not flown this, and I'll be comparing it to the XK X450 Aviator, which I have flown several times, and it's a real hoot. So this is its comparison model. Yes, I painted it. Now, this one arrived in the mail today. It is a slightly different plan form. This has got a staggered leading edge. It is the same wingspan, it's 450mm, 3 motors, they look a similar size. I did like the hinges are nice and soft and pliable. On so many of these EPO models, they're rough as guts and you've got to either cut them off or relieve them in some way, but these are nice and soft. You can see this one's nice and soft because unfortunately when this one arrived, the servo was hanging out. I didn't put it in. I thought, I'll leave it. I'll show you the servo hanging out. It's only a minor thing. I haven't even looked at this one yet. Yeah, that one seems okay. I don't know if they're just a push fit, but that one doesn't look. I hope to keep in frame all the time, guys. Oh, there might have been a little bit of glue on it, but when I say little bit, I mean a little bit. One thing I did notice about this model is that although it doesn't mention anything in the instructions, these panels here are LEDs. That was not used in their advertising at all. The 450 has the LED panels on the underside, and when the battery loses power, drops, they start flashing, and I found that a really good indicator. It's just a matter of bringing the model over, putting it into hover and setting it down. So that is a very, very good feature. So I'm presuming, as I haven't flown this, I'm presuming they are the same. So yeah, the bad feature was servo hanging out. The phone is most likely very similar. It's got to be similar. But one thing I did notice with this, if you can look along the line of those motors, I took the props off because I've just been spinning them. I'd look along the line of the motors, you can see one is further back than the other. So that means I've got to make a slight adjustment on the clevis there to get them both up, because otherwise it's going to be out of trim for a start. And I'm pretty sure I had a similar problem with the XK model. I'm pretty sure one of them was a bit dicky. Now, one thing that I do like about this is that this hatch internally is considerably wider than the battery. On the XK 450 there were little raised pieces of foam on either side which I removed to allow the battery to move around. What I should say, which comes with this model of course, is a battery, is a USB charger, and it came with 3 spare props. The Aviator only came with 2 spare props. So that's one up for them there. I like the clear canopy. And the good thing about the clear canopy, it allows you to fit, it's considerably higher. Come on. It's considerably higher than on the Aviator. I like that. It's clear. That's nice. And by removing a little foam at the back here, I can put in a 1400 milliamp LiPo, will fit in, no problems. They are using XT30 connectors, as same as the Aviator. There is no Velcro strip on the battery. The batteries look identical from both models. 1000 milliamp, 20C. There is no Velcro on the inside there. So at the moment, whether it's been omitted, but at the moment that's not good, because that battery can go anywhere it wants to, which is going to stuff up your CFG, as we all know, don't we, boys and girls? We like our CFG to be in the right place. So just imagine flying with this and then flying along, then going to the vertical. Oh no, you're going to be chasing your trim all the time. It's never going to happen. So that's a big miss, I would say. The charger that comes with this is a USB charger, which is probably better than the charger with the other fella, because they're crap chargers. They really are. I shouldn't say that, should I? They're good chargers. And the transmitter, which you will all want to see. Hope I'm in frame, folks. I'm not used to doing this. Turning on. It comes in, of course, both of them came in mode 2, which is changed to mode 1. I have changed to mode 1, which is a matter of adjusting some screws in the back, but I couldn't do it properly, so I actually took the back cover off. And it's adjusting the tension from one side to the other side, and there is a mode button on this side, turning the radio on and off, and the mode button at the same time, and it changes mode from mode 1 to mode 2. This one takes... Am I on? Get off. This takes 4 AA's, compared to this fellow that takes 6 AA's. The workings of these two radios is identical, in so much as they have a high... They have the switches in the uppers in the take-off in the hover position, to the central position, which is forward flight, to the lower position, which is vertical flight. They have a stabilised flight and an unstabilised flight. Unstabilised is pretty hairy. It's good, but it's hairy. When flicking from the hover to the forward flight with the 450, I found that, and I've checked the same with this fella as well, that's why the props are off. There's a bit of a lull, so it's in hover position. They come over to about a 45, and then from the 45 to the vertical flight it's a bit of a snap, so you have to be prepared for the model to drop a little, and it will do that. Well, as long as you're not doing it, as long as you're not doing your transition from 2 meters above the ground level, you're not going to have any problem. But it looks very, very nice. Another nice feature I liked about this particular model is you have a choice. You can have a blue one or you can have a red one. That's why this had this colour scheme, because it was a multitude of horribleness. Yeah, they're very, very similar. They're very similar. So the LEDs I find are good on that, and the LEDs are very clear on this. So I'll even pop the battery in for you, like you said. There we go. The LED, which transmit. Hang on, don't go away. Throttle up. There we go. Forward. Oh, forward flight. Back in hover. And I'm assuming that when the battery gets down, the lights will then flick, and they'll be seen from the top and the bottom side. They're pretty good. I like those. There's 2 LEDs compared to these. They have 1, 2, 3. They have 4 on either side, but these sort of have that magnifying lens, which will possibly make them look even brighter. So that's a good feature, I think. There we go. There's a lock. We're going to forward flight. There. There's the twitch. And we come back. Straight up. That's where it's just going to drop. And we land. How about that? So, what else can I say? Is that it? Turn that off. Turn off. Turn off. Oh yes, the instruction. Why I think they're made by the same people. The cattle dogs are very similar. Same size. These the RC JJRC is a nice gloss paper compared to a crappy paper on there, but the diagrams are identical. See the diagrams? That's the same. And on the other side of the page, the diagrams are the same. But hopefully, if this model here is going to be as good as the clicks in there nicely. Hopefully, if this is going to be as good or better than the Aviator, I'm going to be very pleased because they're a lot of fun to fly. They really are. You can really enjoy flying these things. And I was at my flying field last week, and after a flight, all the guys around there saying, what is this thing? They hadn't seen anything. It's called a drone. I don't know why it's called a drone. Maybe it was in multi-copter mode, but you're not flying it as a drone all the time. You're flying as a fixed-wing model airplane, so it's a multi-airplane as far as I'm concerned. Another thing, the weight. This is a little heavier. This comes in at 310 grams, I think, compared to the 450, which comes in at 275. One really minor point I'll point out. The only thing that has to be done, read the construction, is to put these two fins in place. And there is a screwdriver supplied, and there's a screw. And do you think I could get them to line up? No way in the world. They did not want to line up. They did not want to do the right thing. That's a little bit heavier. I've just noticed something there. Yeah. That seems a little more rigid. That tail boom there seems a little more rigid. It's just that little bit heavier. There is a carbon spar. Yeah, I can see a carbon spar going through there. You might be able to see the light's poor, I know, but there's a carbon spar running through there, and holds it all together. I've seen on YouTube some people throwing the X450 into the ground and giving it a hell of a thumping. I've been fortunate. I've found it extremely stable, a really fun machine to fly, and hopefully this one's going to be the same. So happy landings, guys, and I'll pop this on YouTube, and hopefully somebody will enjoy it. Bye.